Hey guys, welcome back. Bushcraft family back again with another video. And yes, it's talking about shift time again. Even though a lot of us do believe we're already in a shift per se, there are stages of what everyone would call a shift. I can't really say the words because YouTube doesn't like these. So we are going to go down through the 8 worst American states to live in during a shift, or to be in for that matter. And like I said, there's different stages, and I'll be talking about the worst stages of this, I guess. And some of them are just, natural disasters or things that happen a lot in that state and things like that, to consider in these 8 worst states. And I'm not putting them in any list or anything. They're not top to bottom or anything like that. We're just random states. And these are places that you would have a hard time, prepping and protecting your family and things like that. But let us get started. In the very first one, starts with a C, and I'm sure everybody knows which state this is. It's California. This is probably one of the most diversified states that there is. I think that's a new word, diversified. Yeah, something like that. They attract all types of people to the state. But, if you're wanting to go to California, it's definitely not a place for preppers who value or love their Second Amendment. And they have a lot of regulations on this and that, and the water, rain catchments, and when to water and how to water, and so many things that you have to know before living in that state. And I know a lot of people that do live in that state, they already know some of the limitations that they're forced with. And I said forced. Yep. So many different zoning laws and everything. And that's one of the, like, raising livestock and stuff. You got to go through a lot of hoops and things if you want to set up a homestead out there. There's so many regulations and stuff that it makes it extremely hard. Our next one is Hawaii. Again, if you're somebody that likes that Second Amendment and cherish that thing, Hawaii is not a place for you. They are very strict on it. Again, just like California. And for those who want to live off-grid, also there are tons of regulations due to zoning, building costs, and limited land. It's pretty much purchased, and there's a lot of land. And I'm not going to go into the other stuff that's happening over there right now, but there are a lot of places buying up as soon as land becomes available for for certain things. We're not going to go into too much of it. The weather is pleasant, but they do have some things that happen over there. And we'll leave it at that. But yeah, Hawaii is not one of those places I would want to be stuck in during a shift, a major shift, Another one in this list, you may not believe, but with the research and everything, Louisiana is in this. Louisiana is down there in the Gulf area, known for hurricanes and whatnot. And like I said, when you're worried about shift stuff happening in your state and everything, the last thing you want to worry about is an actual hurricane on top of it. Now, there are some that are totally prepared for this, and it's okay. And it's all depends on what part, where you live in the state too. And also there's a lot of tornadoes and storms, flooding, all that kind of stuff down in there. A little bit of it is somewhat of it is would be ideal. The hunting and stuff like that. And again, with the Second Amendment, firearm laws may be subject to interpretation, which is fine for self-defense and things like that, but carrying and things like that, that's something to consider before moving to said state. Our next one, let's keep it moving. Rhode Island. Rhode Island has some of the strictest gun laws in the country, and you're going to see a lot of these states. That's one of the main things, because shift, you may have to protect your family and your property, and if you're not allowed to, this becomes an issue. So this list has been pretty much top notch with the Second Amendment. So you get where I'm getting at with a lot of this. There are so many, different variations of said weapons and the bands of them and magazine capacity and all that funny stuff. And being one of the strictest licensed to carry said firearm. Again, Rhode Island has some very strict zoning laws, building codes, and you do get quite a bit of flooding in that area. Storm surges and stuff that comes in, and a lot of flooding due to that. Let's see. According to the United States Department of Agriculture, only around 168 acres across the land of Rhode Island are potentially suitable for farming, which I would say very, very low amount for a whole state like that. Restrictions on land use and building codes may limit the ability to establish certain self blah, 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 blah. I can't even get it out. Not even going to try. Practices such as keeping livestock or construction alternative dwellings, meaning places to hide upon, like bunkers and things like that. That's enough for Rhode Island. Next one, New York. Yes, New York is New York City. It's bustling. It's where it's at and everything. But individuals interested in prepping or homesteading within its urban confines. One thing is limited spaces. Apartment sizes are very small. Zoning restrictions, high living costs, strict building codes. Yeah, the northern area, rural areas, state is not friendly to preppers or survivalist homesteaders. New York has restriction on gun laws, including certain types of weapons, bans on the magazines and what you can carry. It's very hard to get a carry permit and everything. And also, off grid has also been heavily regulated with zoning laws that are hindering individuals from living self sufficient. Certain areas are prone to flooding from the hurricane storms and whatnot also. Yeah, and I'm not picking on these states at all. A lot of people I know live in these states and they're preppers and they get along, they get by just fine. There's ways around all of this stuff, but this is just a list of some of the places that I've done research for, and one of the first things I check is the laws on firearms and whatnot, and these are the top of the list here for that. And talking about regulations on wood burning stoves and things in that nature. Our next one here is Connecticut. You're kind of getting a trend of a section of land in the United States where this stuff is happening. And I'm not going to say which political side did these people go on and whatnot, but yeah. The state also has strict gun laws, including certain types of weapons and, again, magazine capacity. Requires a very hard permit to carry your weapon around with you. The state also has regulations on off-grid living. You see that? That's a trend with these same of these states here. Regulations on off-grid living. Now, with all the talk about global warming and everything, you would think you would want more of these places, these off-grid places. But no. They have so many laws and limits for all this stuff. It makes it hard for these people who want to live off-grid, don't want to be tied down to bills and connected to lines throughout with everybody else. They want to be off to their own, but too many regulations. Again, this is one of these states that have hurricanes, severe storms, blizzards. Of course, you're going to have some kind of weather situation on any state you go to, be heat, cold, whatever. But when you have multiple, that's when you have to think, is this where I should be living? Our next one, Massachusetts. Again, same area out there. And again, it is very hard to get a license to carry again. Also, the state also has strict building codes, zoning laws that can challenge an off-gridder. Yep. Massachusetts also has hurricanes, blizzards, the same stuff everywhere else. Pretty much the same. I'm almost repeating myself with the same area. And guess what? We're going back to that area again with New Jersey. New Jersey is a beautiful state, great for farming and whatnot, but again, very, very strict laws for firearms. Permits, all that stuff is very, very hard to get. The hoops that you have to go through. Again, we're going to go with the zoning laws again. It makes it difficult to live off-grid. Why is this? Why is it so hard for people to live off-grid? Why do they zone and make laws and restrictions for it to be so hard? And again, hurricane, flooding, winter storms. They have some of the most power outages from any state. Again, so why won't you let us live off grid? So hard. One of the most primary challenges of living in New Jersey is densely populated urban areas with a population over 9 million. Finding affordable, suitable land for homesteading and or prepping is extremely challenging. And let's just move on from New Jersey. And that is our last one. I thought I had another one here. Nope, yep, that was it. That's New Jersey. But you can kind of get where I'm getting at with that area. It seems like that, and they kind of follow suit with limited on the magazines and extremely hard to get permits for this and the restrictions on off-grid living, and that's the key to this. Some of us don't mind being connected to the internet and being connected to electricity, gas, water, sewer, all that stuff. That's fine for people, but there are a lot more people and a lot more coming up that want to be off grid. They don't want to be connected to electricity. They don't want to be connected to water or anything else, because you get so attached to those things, and then when you don't have them, a lot of people panic and do crazy things. I'll just leave it at that. And that's where, if all that stuff is shut off and people are so used to it, that's when the Second Amendment comes in. And if your state is not allowing that, then is that the state for you? Anyways, I hope some of this was helpful. I know a lot of it was pretty much the same, and that's the trend with that. And that's what we have to think about when purchasing land and things. You need to go do a lot of research on the county, the state, all that stuff. Townships even. Until next time, like always, God bless.